Hello, Sagittarius. It is me, Lauren B. with the Untitled Tarot. Welcome back. Welcome in. If you're a first timer over here, have a seat. We're going to get into it. We are going to do your spread this week with the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle deck. I know it's a mouthful. Energetically, a couple things before we get into the cards. I'm feeling a little tired. I think everyone's a little tired after Cancer season. We are very happy and grateful to have the fresh Leo season energy coming in. We are very grateful for it. It's funny, I've been doing readings today. I have work in a little bit, and I was kind of teeter-tottering on whether to do this one. I was like, oh, I might burn myself out a little bit if I do it. I was like, I'm not that hungry. Should I eat now? Should I wait to go to work to eat? And I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to eat lunch because that's what you're supposed to do. You're going to eat lunch, Lauren. That's what you're going to do. And I was like, and I'm going to power through, and I'm going to do Sagittarius because I know that I'm going to feel good tonight when I lay my head down on my little pillow. And I know that I got all my readings done, and I got all my stuff for the house done, and I ate like a normal person, and I went to work, and I did my thing. So I feel like there's really like a powering through, like over any obstacles that you guys are feeling right now, that there really is a larger sense of like wanting to accomplish more than the obstacles that are surrounding you are really like giving you the impression that you can get done. You know, it's really a little bit of, oh, you think I can't do that? Watch me do it. Watch me do it. But be careful not to burn yourself out, because I'm definitely going to have a Red Bull later. So like, be careful not to burn yourself out, Saggy. Is that it for the energy? Yeah, that's it for your energy. So I feel like you guys are in a new cycle. So that's very nice. A couple of signs are working through some of their shadow stuff. I feel like you got a little bit of that going on too, but not so much. Your first card that you have out is the Deer. This lovely earth energy, right? It's that's trying to stay grounded, like tangible, like let's get some stuff done. It's also like a very feminine energy. I feel like you guys are very, male or female. You know how energies work around here, I hope. You know, anybody could. I have a lot of male viewers, which I love you guys so much, literally. But you guys are embodying a lot of your feminine energy right now. I think after that Cancer season was a little exhausting for you. It's like you're ready to receive now. You feel pretty balanced, like you're getting a lot done, you know, but you're also, it's like you're ready to receive. You're ready to receive. This is also, it's a very graceful kind of energy. It's also very alert, right? It's very like, I'm gonna go with the flow, natural cycles, right? And then you have this Camel energy. You have it in reverse. And this is very much upright of an energy of reserves, right? So it's like, I'm filling up my toolbox. I'm getting my sleep. I'm filling up my cup because like I know I have a long journey ahead of me, right? And I'm gonna need all of my reserves. In reverse, it's telling me that you've come out of this cycle. You've learned a lot of the lessons that you needed to learn, and now it's like you're starting to pull tools out of your toolbox. Now it's like now you're, like I said, because you feel pretty balanced. Like you're in a gentle. You're in a gentle kind of easy does it. Let's get this stuff done, but let's do it at kind of like a normal pace sort of energy. In order to do that, you're like, all right, instead of like running on fumes, I'm gonna pull from the things I know. I'm gonna make sure that I eat my lunch. I'm gonna make sure that I get a good night's sleep. I'm gonna make sure that I do all of these things. And then next out, you have the Shark and the Raccoon. It's interesting. I feel like you're on the hunt, Saggy. You're on the hunt for something new, a new opportunity, a new person, a new passion. There's I feel like you need something to invigorate you. You're looking for something to be excited about. Not that you don't have anything already to be excited about. Oh, I'm getting hot as I do this reading. I'm starting to get a little hot. But there's a sense that you're on the hunt, and the Raccoon is a very skillful, resourceful. It's a very adaptable energy. So you're kind of stalking your prey, Saggy. So that's very interesting. It really is a sense that it's like, I feel like you have hit a point where you really feel like you owe it to I don't know why I'm doing this. Hands behind my back. Yeah, maybe. It's like you really feel like you owe it to yourself. It's almost like I got my hands behind my back. Like, do what you're gonna do. Like, I have nothing to prove to you. Like, I did my homework and I'm moving forward. Like, I'm on the hunt for like my next opportunity, like the next big thing for me, right? And you're like, and I'm gonna use all of my resources. I'm gonna use all of my tools that I know how to do, that I know how to use, and I'm gonna make something happen for myself. So that's pretty cool. But like I said, really be mindful of not burning yourself out, because I am getting like hot as I started your reading, and I was cold before. So you could be getting a little heated. Like, it could be a little bit of maybe a little prideful ego thing. Like, I'm gonna show them, right? And we wanna keep that in check. We do wanna keep that in check. Now, in your environment, and I will say this does feel very external to you. A lot of times your energy can be all over your environment, but this does feel very opposite. This feels very external. So you have the Swan and the Crow in reverse. So in your environment, there are a lot of people, I'm gathering, that are not doing their self-reflection, right? Looking into themselves, their personal accountability, how they may be affecting, impacting situations around them, right? That cause and effect. And the Crow is all about, very much like the Owl card, it's very much about intuition, right? See, and with all these colors, it's about like balancing your chakras, using your intuition to figure out like, where did I make a misstep? Like, am I going in the right direction? Am I being mindful of others? Am I being mindful of myself? There is a big lack of that in the environment from the people around you. And with this Peacock, I'm getting a lot of pride, right? It's like people are really like, they're really peacocking. They're really strutting their stuff around you, right? But it's coming out of a place of, I'm hearing false Pharaoh, but it's like a false sense of confidence that a lot of these people have around you. And with the Lizard in reverse, it's telling me that there's a lack of shedding of the skin. And I started this and I was like, am I peeling? I was like, I got a little sunburnt the other day. I was like, but am I peeling? Like, I didn't think I burned like that. But it's like this sense of like people not really going through those death and rebirth cycles, fighting the shedding of old skin in order to become new, to become fresh, right? And then you have the Unicorn card out. This is very much of my psychic cowboy, you know, my space astronaut card. It's very much kind of being in your own little world, kind of trying to use your intuitive antenna, stick it out to source. Today in particular, I'm feeling of an isolated feeling, like in your own little world. But again, this feels very external. So I feel like other people around you might be in their own little world, not really maybe doing their shadow work, not really doing their own homework, not using their intuition, not self-reflecting, peacocking, a little bit of a overcompensation, false sense of confidence, right? But it also feels like source is intentionally, purposefully keeping them isolated, feels like away from you, because I feel like you may be easily distracted right now. You do have a lot going on, and it is likely that you could become very overwhelmed. And like I just got like a little lightheaded. It's like you're kind of like a baby. You learned how to pick your head up and you learned how to crawl, and it's like you're just kind of learning how to walk now, you know, but you're still kind of, the likelihood of you like bumping into a coffee table is still kind of high. So source is kind of keeping other people a little bit away from you, right? But also because they can't, there's a lot of smoke. They can't handle the smoke. Maybe they can't handle whatever it is that you're selling. They can't really afford to be buying right now, right? It's almost like they're not there yet. They're not quite on your level of what you're doing, right? Maybe they're just still picking their head up. Maybe they're just learning to crawl. Maybe they're just learning to cry, Saggy. But it's source is kind of keeping them away from you, keeping you away from each other. It's also source is kind of isolating them so that way they can deal with their own stuff, work on kind of straightening out this antenna. I forget which proverb it is, but it's like God can write something straight on a crooked stick. That's kind of what they're doing over here for them, these people, because the Zebra card is very much about authenticity, individuality, kind of being your unique self in a very black and white world. So these people, like I said, they're not really doing the self-reflection. They're not using their intuition, not letting like old behaviors, habits, attitudes kind of shed off them to become more authentic, fresher versions of themselves, right? And so source is kind of keeping everybody do your rooms. Everybody do your rooms right now. Go do your algebra is sort of what's happening here. So in your weaknesses, Saggy, because we all got them, we have the Rabbit card out in reverse. So that's telling me that you might be feeling a little paranoid, right? I'm getting a little bit of the energy of like when you adopt a dog who comes from like an abused home and you go to pet it and it like jerks back. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of like expecting the worst, right? But we don't want to negatively manifest things. We don't want to have negative self-fulfilling prophecies, right? But with all this like the red and the purple, it's a little bit of because the purple's at the bottom, right? That's your crown chakra. It should be at the top. That you could be expecting the worst, feeling a little paranoid, right? And that could be triggering you up a little bit. I did get like a little like hot and woozy for a second. And then you have the B card out in reverse. I think being so paranoid, you are easily distracted right now, right? This is a very community, hardworking, busy as a bee energy. So you have a tendency to be a little paranoid. That could throw you off your game a little bit, really mess with your productivity. It's almost looking like a bullseye, right? And when you do that, I'm getting the sense that when you get paranoid, do that weird self-fulfilling prophecy thing, you start getting distracted and not working towards your goals, your positive manifestations, these things about yourself that you're still growing and learning, figuring out how to not bang into the coffee table. You make yourself a target. You make yourself a target for criticism, for self-deprecation, for a lot of different things. So that is something to be mindful of. And with the Snake in reverse, again, that's about death and rebirth cycles. You cannot fight the death and rebirth cycles. Or I'm also getting like you cannot force them on other people. If other people want to drag out a death process for themselves, you have to let them do it. If other people aren't ready to be reborn, to shed their old skin, you cannot do it for them. You cannot do other people's homework, right? You could be like, hey, here's my notes that I took, like if you want some advice, but you can't take the final for them. Everybody gets grade on their own merits and their own accord. So it's almost like, I want to say it's because you want to help people, but it does feel a little bit like you want to help yourself. A little bit like you feel like because other people aren't working the program, it's holding you back a little bit, right? Not realizing that your journey doesn't always and isn't always connected to the people that you're connected to, right? Not everybody can come with us where we're going, and that's not good, bad, or different. It's just that we all have to walk our own paths. Doesn't feel like anybody's holding you back in your situation, Saggy. It feels like have a tendency to hold yourself back, like waiting for other people to catch up, right? And if they're meant to catch up, then they'll learn how to run faster if you're meant to be on the same track, okay? And with this cheetah energy, again, it's like very distracted, moving quickly, not really enough direction, right? Because when we get paranoid, we get thrown off, we get triggered. It's almost like you lose a little bit of your discernment, your work ethic, your productivity, and then you feel the need, almost like you need to catch up. You need to catch up to the stuff that you had to do, and that might make you angry because you were like, well, I'm waiting for you to do this, right? And it's almost like when somebody doesn't want to eat because they want someone to eat with them, and then they get really hungry and they start not to feel well because it's like they waited too long to eat, and they're like, well, I was waiting for you to eat. And it's like, well, no, just go feed yourself, Sadie. Just go eat dinner, go eat lunch, like do your own thing, right? Because then it triggers you when it's really not anyone else's fault necessarily, because they're on their own path. So it's like you have to respect other people's progress as they make it, right? We have to love and appreciate people as if they were trees, just as they are. Just how it be, okay? Because it will flare up. My little money tree's going all over the place. It will flare up your shadow side. And that's not, like, again, it's not necessarily anyone else's fault, Saggy. It's not like you're doing it out of a malicious thing. It's just this is a weakness that we need to work on a little bit, all right? Now in your strengths, however, we have the horse. So it's like, you're free as a fiddle, baby. It's like you are independent, you're hardworking. There's a sense of stamina and resilience that you have here, right? There is, even though you cannot see everything unfolding before you, right? We walk in faith, not in sight, that you keep it moving. You keep going. Again, it's this resourcefulness. You are pulling tools out of your tool belt to get you where you need to be going, and that is a very beautiful thing. And with this elephant, it's source has you. Source has your back. You understand that when there's a blockage, that it is a divine detour, right? You understand divine timing. You understand the cause and effects of your manifestation and how and why spirit does things and moves things around for your betterment. With this eagle, this is often representative to me of like it could messages justice, but in particular, I'm very drawn to like his talons right here. It almost looks like he's clinging to the sun. It's really that like trying to maintain hope kind of energy, that despite whatever's going on with you or in your circumstances, you really are trying to like cling to the sun energy, like cling on to hope, positivity. The sun will come out tomorrow. Like we are going to get to the other side. Again, that stamina, that resiliency, which is a really, really good thing. And then we have the Scorpion out in reverse. So this is saying that you do have the ability to control yourself, not to snap at people, not to sting them, right? You are focusing your passions. It feels like you are trying to harness them. So it's like when you get a little bit triggered, you, instead of having maybe an outburst or getting too upset with someone, you're trying to harness it and be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna clean my room, or like, well, I'm just gonna throw myself into work. And it's trying to take those passionate energies, whether they're good or bad, right? And trying to harness them into a level of production. And that is really good. And with the frog, it's telling me that in your strengths, like you are very willing to do that self-reflection and to go in and clean out aspects of yourself. That's very clean out the clutter energy, that you are able to do that, which is very, very important to be like, ooh, I'm feeling a little triggered now. I might be a little jealous. I might be being a little bitter right now. Like I might have some wounding. Like maybe I should look into that. Like maybe I need to rest. Maybe I need to work more. Like maybe really it's like a very self-discernment, assessing energy, like really willing to go in and work on yourself in areas that need to be worked on when it needs to be worked on. I'm hearing like you're not putting it off anymore. You're not putting it off anymore. So that is really good. That's a beautiful thing, my little Saggies. Now, the advice moving forward for you is you have the Crocodile. So I'm really getting this sense of like, there's a big watch and wait energy going on here. It's like, keep an eye on your environment. Keep an eye on these people, right? Because we know you're paranoid as fuck right now anyway, so you're gonna do it. So they're saying like, okay, like keep it's almost like keep your enemies closer, but there is a big divide. There is a separation here anyway, and it's always important to love and forgive thy neighbor, right? You know, love thy enemy kind of thing. But it's almost like, you know, I'm getting like crocodile smile. It's like you're not looking for a fight. Doesn't feel like you're afraid of one either, but it's keep an eye on the situation, right? Because I'm getting the sense that it could change at any moment. Things could change at any moment as the wind blows for you. So in order, you know, you don't, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? So it's like, and I'm also getting like low profile. Your advice is keep a low profile, keep an eye on everything. Don't open up your jaw and start snapping at anything, but just lie low and keep an eye on things. And then you have out the Vulture. It's keep going in and doing that cleansing. Because again, we have some little shadow aspects that are being triggered here or there, right? You are in a very fertile energy. You are being very resourceful. You're independent. You have everything you need to get yourself where you're going. But I think we need to go in and work a little bit on our expectations, what are and are not healthy expectations that we have of others, right? Because when our expectations are a little too high or unrealistic of other people, we can get very disappointed. But it's also very indicative of being too hard on ourselves as well, as within, so without. So they're saying lay low, keep an eye on everything, right? That way you don't feel like you're getting bamboozled because you're so paranoid anyway. So like, we know you're gonna do it, but like keep it low key, but also keep going in, keep doing your own homework. Clear the meat off those bones for yourself, right? Nightingale in reverse. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. I'm getting like no gossip. No, keep the pettiness to an absolute minimum. It will mess with your karma. You are very fertile. You are in a heavy, I'm getting very magician manifestation energy. What we put out, we do get back to us. So it's very much a like, mind the business that pays you, right? Energetically, don't put energy into anything that is not positively putting energy back into you. It's just a waste on everyone's end. So, and it's always like, and the blue's up top. So it's like, keep the truth of your situation. Know the truth about yourself, who you are and what you're doing. You don't need to, again, you don't need to prove yourself, like hands behind your back. Like, I'm not fighting with you. I'm not fighting with you. Like, I got my eye on you. I'm doing my own work, but I have nothing to prove here. And keep tight-lipped. I'm almost gonna like keep tight-lipped about what you're doing as well, because it feels like your plants are in the fertilization and growing process. It's not quite harvest time, and it's almost like you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. So keep, until things are really solid for you, keep a little tight-lipped about it. And then you have the Whale. So again, it's like some things you got to keep to yourself. I'm also getting like some feelings, maybe some like yucky feelings that you're having about certain people, certain things. I'm getting the sense that some of those feelings do have to do with you as well. You are in a pretty balanced place, but you are having some trigger moments. So you may feel differently about this in the coming weeks as we go through Leo season, as Source kind of works with you and works with other people in your environment. The situation, like I said, it could change at any moment. So it's like you don't want to say anything now that could bite you in the ass later. Right? So it's like kind of percolate, digest some of the things, digest Cancer season. It's a water sign. It's a water card. Digest what happened to you with Cancer season a little bit, right? Figure out what you can take out of it that's going to help you. Figure out what you need to just like toss away that isn't going to serve you anymore. And with this hyena, it's saying, again, balance that energy, balance between your hard sides and your soft sides, right? Your light and your dark elements. That way you are fully integrated, right? We sit too much in the darkness, we lose all of our hope. And if we sit too high in the light, then we become light blind, right? And anything that is unpleasant or uncomfortable that happens to us, we crumble underneath it. So we have to maintain that balance. Now, if you don't follow the advice, I have cards for that. They've been coming out because I guess some people aren't taking advice lately. Cheers. If you don't follow the advice, Wolf and Dragon in reverse, you're going to feel very out of control. But also remember, this has a lot to do with things that are out of your hands, but you're going to feel very out of control. And when you feel out of control, you feel out of connection with Source, which you never are. But it's almost going to be the sense of like, why is God punishing me? Like, why is Source doing this to me? Like, I did everything that I was supposed to do. Like, yeah, but like keep doing it and like keep moving on your own path. Stop trying to drag other people along with you, right? You don't, Emmy Evolving says this all the time. It's like you cannot enact a potentiality onto others because that might not be what they want for themselves. That might not be part of their path, right? It's like, well, I know they can do it and I know we can do it and I know it would be fine if they just did this or they just did that. It's like, well, maybe that's not what they want to do. Maybe that's not what they're supposed to be doing right now. Maybe Source, maybe God wants them to work on something else, a different aspect of themselves. And that's something that you're going to have to accept because it's not your business. That's their path and their journey. You have to stay focused on your own. If you don't follow this advice, you're going to end up feeling out of control and it's going to make you feel disconnected from Source. You're going to flare up. You're going to start making plans. The Bear in reverse, you're going to try and come out of hibernation and all of this masculine energy when you're sitting in this beautiful feminine energy right now, soft and gentle. You're going to come out like an elk, right? Out of hibernation, hungry like a bear, pushing your antlers into everyone, hummingbird, thinking that you're going to be able to do a lot of things, really pollinate that fertile energy, right? Get all of this stuff done. But I'm getting the sense that it's like you're gonna try with this, what is it? Gazelle's almost said a deer again. That you're gonna try and jump hurdles. You're gonna try and jump hurdles that you're not fast enough or strong enough to jump yet, right? You're gonna start trying to run when you're still bumping into coffee tables a little bit. So it's like you gotta get your sea legs. You gotta get your sea legs a little bit, Saggy. And if you don't do all of this work, if you don't follow the advice, that's what's gonna happen. You feel out of control and disconnected. You're going to try and overcompensate for that by kind of steamrolling through into the next cycle, thinking that you're going to be able to have all of this prosperity and pollination and fertility. And in reality, there are going to be some leaps that are going to be a little too high for you at this current juncture, right? And it's going to be action that's going to come out of pride and ego. Because of the dragonfly, this is truth transcends illusion. Because you are going to misinterpret the truth of the situation. Right? You're going to be seeing more of the illusions. It's like, you only have a very small amount of the truth right now. right? You only have a piece of it. You don't have the whole picture. And so don't, like I said, it's that don't cut off your own nose just to spite your face sort of thing, because the Lamb is also very indicative of a naive energy. You will go back and realize that it was a very naive thing for you to do, right? To jump before you were ready. You know, it's like you wait 30 minutes after you eat before you go swim in the ocean. You're going to get a cramp and you're going to sink, and you're going to have somebody go out there with their little lifeguard paddle and come and save you. So it's like, don't be naive here. You're still learning things too. So don't judge other people because they're still learning other things, right? And you need to be gentle with yourself. And all it's going to do, this otter spirit is a very community, it's very friendship, it's very friendly energy. It's going to make you not be as nice or as kind or as open and as cooperative with others as you really should be, right? And you're going to be in kind of a more of a negative aspect of this tiger, right? These tigers, lions and bears, oh my, right? They're dominant predator energies, right? They hunt, but they don't just pounce and attack on anything. They wait, they take their time until the moment's right, till the prey is right, and then they go and get theirs, right? You're just going to be snapping at things. You're going to be snapping at people. It will create a wider gap, right? It takes twice as long to build bridges that you burnt. So, but I did actually get some cards that if you do take the advice, Saggy, Dolphin Spirit and Spider Spirit in reverse. This is about like positive karmic relationships. This is like building, making plans. You will figure out where and where not to plant seeds and make plans. You will figure out like what people need to be left alone, left to their own devices, I'm hearing. And that's going to be better for you. Like where you are not needed, where your help is not needed, right? Just where not to waste your energy, where not to put your energy in a place where it's not going to be used productively or in a communal, energetically even exchange place, right? And if you do take the advice, not only are you going to do that, but you are going to get symbols from spirit. You are going to get signs, synchronicities of a rebirth, of your rebirth. With this buffalo in reverse, it's telling me that it might not be in the way that you are used to getting signifiers of progress or success, right? Maybe you're used to seeing an angel number, or, you know, it might not be physical money or something like that, or somebody hits you up on your phone. It might just be like a feeling that you get, like, ooh, I'm on the right path, like a sense of pride, right? Like a building of positive self-confidence. You are going to get messages in that you are in the midst of this rebirth, that you are learning to get your sea legs and walk, but it might come in a different way. And I'm also getting very much of a like, wait for it. And this beaver energy is, again, it's very community. It's very busy as a bee, happy, hardworking energy. It's like, wait for it. Wait for this rebirth to continue to manifest for itself. Wait for your signs. Wait for your symbols and the messages from spirit. Keep a low profile. Don't say shit to anyone, good, bad, or indifferent. For the most part, try and keep most of your good news to yourself because you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. But just like keep your head down and keep working on yourself because you're doing a good job, but just keep working on yourself. You're not going to be able to do other people's homework and it will just distract you from doing yours. Don't try and tutor your friend when you barely know calculus yourself, okay? Now you have 2 crystal cards and I'd like to read them for you. Okay. Auralite, number 24, the Soul Connector. Auralite 23 has a sedative effect. Oh, maybe that's why I'm tired. Has a sedative effect on the mind, stilling it so that profound healing and consciousness connection with your soul, the universal mind, and higher dimensions occur. You are a multi-layered soul on a course of accelerated spiritual growth. You came to Earth to share your knowledge. You have an ability to move between different dimensions, to anchor new vibrations into the Earth plane. The slowness and seeming impossibility of this task have brought disillusionment and discontent, but do not despair. Raise your own consciousness and others will follow. Recognize that you are an integral part of humanity. Center yourself in inner peace and connect to your higher mind before making a decision. Beneficial contacts come through friends and family. It is not so much what you know as whom that counts now, and that includes higher being. Aligning to as above, so below, as without, so within, leads to a sense of rightness and immense well-being. You could be seeing 24 a lot. You could be seeing 42 a lot. you could be seeing 44 a lot, which is our next card. Purpurite, the curse clearer. Extremely effective for psychic and aura protection. Purpurite grounds high frequency energy, harmonizing the physical body to the new vibration. It helps you break away from self-destructive or self-limiting behavior. Energizing the physical and mental bodies, it overcomes tiredness, apathy, and despondency. Old habits and patterns, including those inherited from ancestors, may keep you mirrored in the past. Subtle energetics of the ancient curses or ill wishing could be affecting you. These may be personal or passed down through the family line. You may be open to mental influence from others, keeping you guys separate. Be open to new ways to heal. Protect yourself appropriately, but do not be overly defensive. Check out whether you have inadvertently offended anyone. If so, make reparation where possible. If not, send unconditional love and forgiveness without needing to know why or where. The past creates the present, but the past can be repaired and the present healed. So, that is your reading, Saggy. I hope that you guys found this helpful. I hope that there was something in this that you could take home, take to the bank, work on. I'm here if you guys need anything, if you guys want to chat. I love talking to you guys in the comments. I love when you guys talk to each other in the comments. I'm very grateful as always for all of your support. All of the information that you should need, Sag, is in the description box. So all the decks that I have and I use, my email for personals, my Twitter, my Instagram, all my things, all my peeps, all my things, all my info. So I hope that you have a really wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that you are having a kick-ass start to Leo season, okay? So go do your homework. I will see you next time. Goodbye.